Hi, welcome back to Unsubscribed Off the Record. I'm your host, Rainstorm Live, and in this episode, I want to talk about what it was like to grow up on the internet. And you might be thinking, oh, you're not that old. You always say you're under 18, because I am. However, this doesn't mean that I didn't grow up on the internet. I got my first phone when I was, little. Should I have? Probably not. Did I? Yeah. And then the phone I currently have that you guys see in videos, that I film videos on, that I use pretty much all the time for everything, I got, in 2021, and have been using the same phone. It's the iPhone 12. And so, I'm a couple of models behind, but that's okay. I don't care. It functions as a phone. I've dropped it off of so much shit. But, yeah. So I've been on the internet for a hot minute, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's not just that I've been on the internet. It's that I was driving the other day to go meet with some people about a thing, and as I was driving, I was like, oh my god, it's so cool that I'm getting to do this, and it hit me that I've been posting since 2022. So we're coming up on 3 years posting and streaming and whatnot. And I was thinking, I'm like, that's so crazy. It really hasn't felt like it's been 3 years. Genuinely, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I started last year. I started a couple of years, I started a year ago, 2 years ago. And I'm almost on my 3rd year, which is so weird to think about. And it's so weird to talk about, too, because, now I'm thinking about how long I've been doing this and where I am in life and, where I started versus where I am now. And it's so wild to, think about that and stuff. And yeah, I just, cause I remember I started posting on Pinterest in 2021, 2022, I think. I don't want to go all the way back. I'm gonna pull it up as I keep talking, but yeah, I've been posting on the internet for a hot minute now, which is wild to me, because I'm scrolling back and I'm scrolling back for a long time. Oh, it doesn't tell me when I started posting. Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, I've been posting for a hot minute. A lot of these are 2022, which, okay, so maybe 2021, okay, maybe closer to 2021 on Pinterest, and then I started to post on YouTube in 2022, and I started streaming on Twitch in 2023, early 2023, so it was within the first month, and I started posting within December, and so I just kind of count them as, the same, time, because to me it was, they were literally days apart from each other, but, it's so weird, especially because so many of the people that currently watch my content weren't there. And then I have some people who have been watching since 2022, 2023. And they sometimes pop in and they're like, what's up? And I go, oh my goodness, you've been here for so long. That's so wild to me. And I'm incredibly grateful. But it was I don't know, it was a really weird thing to think about and to process when, while doing this. And I am so incredibly grateful for all of the opportunities and the everything that I've gotten to do and that I hopefully am going to continue to do. And all of the people I've met due to this, like my friend Cometscraft, it's insane to me that it's been not only that long, but I've come this far. And it really shows that, like, the time and effort that you spend putting into something can pay off. Because, I mean, when I started streaming in 2023, I wasn't even streaming consistently until near the end of 2023. And, like, that's what it was. I just didn't stream until the end. Like I streamed maybe 10 times in the first 6 months, and by the end of 2023, I had already been affiliated, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. And I was really grateful for that. And then, of course, I did my first 2 subathons in 2024, one to celebrate getting affiliated, and then one just because it was summer, and I figured, I've got nothing better to do. And then I just did my 3rd subathon this summer, and, like, that's so wild. What do you mean I've been doing this for that long, and that there's been people, and because I don't know, I started on Pinterest as a faceless creator, but once I started streaming, I just didn't have the energy to remain faceless, and so I wasn't. And, like, I will occasionally go back and watch my original VODs, and, like, the ones with my friends and all of that. And I literally, I look at that, and then I look in the camera or in the mirror, and I see the vast difference in that. And, like, I see how much I've changed, and I'm like, holy shit. The internet has watched me grow up. I have been putting myself in the public eye for everybody to see for almost 3 years now. And they've watched me, like, the people that have watched my old content and my new content, like, they've watched me basically grow up. And I know that happens, especially at this point in your life, in your teenage years, but, like, that's so weird. Because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, these people have literally seen me go through a large section of my life, and I didn't even really, like, think about that. Like, they've watched my interests change, they've seen my personality, like, the way I speak, my friend groups, like, you can go back, and you can see genuinely, like, dozens of changes. And it was so, I don't know, it was just a really interesting thing for me to see and to experience, because, like, it's not something I ever expected to, like, think about. Or, like, when you watch actors get older, because when I was younger, I really wanted to be an actor. Like, I've always wanted to go into the entertainment business, and I'm doing that now as an entertainer, just in a different format. And it's so odd to think about the fact that that's how it's, like, that's what's happening right now. And that if I continue on this path, which I would really love to, I actually am deeply hopeful that I will be able to continue to do this for a very long time, because I really do love, sitting here and talking to you guys and the little community that I've built over these couple of years. And it's insane to me to think that it's been so long, and that I will continue to see myself grow up and change on camera as you guys will. And, like, that's, like, it's like looking at old memories in your camera roll and being like, oh, I was so little. But I'm doing that with things that are on the internet right now. Also, sorry if it keeps, like, sounding weird between certain words. I keep yawning, because I don't know why. It's been a day-ish. I've only been awake for, like, 6 hours at this point in time when I'm recording it. But it's just, I don't know, it's weird to think about how long I've been here. Also, this morning, I made the best potatoes I think I've ever made. They were breakfast potatoes. They took so long to cook, but they were delicious. And also, I'm 98% sure that I have tennis elbow again, which isn't really great, because that makes streaming and just, like, content creation in general pretty rough to do. But that's okay, because I'm going to continue to do it anyway, because it's what I love. I love doing this, and I love being here, and I love the community that I've built in a non-parasocial way, because parasocial behaviors are creepy. But yeah, I don't know. It's odd to think about that in the same, like, way that you would look back on a memory that your parents took, like a photo your parents took when you were a little kid. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about how weird, like, what a surreal experience that was to think about and to see, because, like, I'm not used to having that perspective on myself, and then I did, and, like, it's one of the only things I've been thinking about recently, is that the internet has watched me grow up just as much as my family has. And that's so weird to think about. Like, I knew it would happen, I guess, because that's what happens when you're a teenager and you put in, like, stuff online. You grow up and you continue to put stuff online, and then you change, and, like, your face looks different, or your voice sounds different, or you get, like, your friend groups change, and so there's different people that you interact with online, and, like, that's such an odd and surreal feeling. And I didn't really know, like, I didn't really think about that until the other day, when I was on my way to meet with some people about something. And that's so weird to me. Not in, like, a bad way. And I'm not saying I'm not incredibly grateful for everyone who's been here for that long, or for all of the new people that are choosing to be here. But it's, I don't know, it's an odd feeling to be able to think about that. And of course, you know, you guys watching me grow up means I've also watched the people that I looked up to, or that I enjoyed the content of growing up along with me, and I've seen their interests and their content change, and I've seen the trends that come and go, and all of these things that, like, you don't think about in the moment, but then in retrospect, you're like, holy shit, that happened. And that's surreal for me. That moment of, like, feeling that, you know? And if you don't know, that's okay too. Not everyone wants to do content creation, or not everyone sticks around long enough to see that person change. And if you do, then it's a weird thing, because then you're like, you watched them grow up at the same time you were. And that's, I don't know. I'm incredibly grateful for everyone that stayed, and I'm incredibly grateful that you're here listening to this and my rambling. And I'm so happy that everyone who continues to find my content hangs out for a little bit, and it means so much to me. And yeah, so once again, this was Unsubscribed Off the Record, and I'm your host, Rainstorm Live. Thank you so much for being here.